Hello everyone, Reaper here again, coming to you with comic book haul number 8. I know it's been some time since my last comic book haul, almost 2 months, but I've amassed a fairly decent amount of books, and I'd like to show them to you. So, starting off, Wolverine #1. This was the first issue in Wolverine's ongoing series. It's not the #1 from the miniseries by Frank Miller, the one that came a couple years after. Now, I got quite a few books to go over, so I probably won't talk in detail too much about each one because I'll probably be here for, hours. But I'll try to keep it short with some of these. Some of the more important ones I'll maybe talk a little bit more on. So we have Wolverine #1. I was lucky enough to get. Same series, which is Wolverine, the second series. Wolverine #8. And this one, Wolverine #10. Now, once again, I know this is a pretty popular book, Wolverine #10. And I know it has something to do with Sabretooth, being that he's on the cover, but if anyone would like to leave a comment on the significance of this book, on why this is a little more expensive than some of the other earlier Wolverine books, that would be great, because I'm always eager to learn more about, more about comics from all you out there that watch that I consider real pros, that really know their stuff, really know your stuff. Okay, so those are my Wolverine books that I was able to pick up. I got one X-Men book, X-Men #90. This is a reprint. When they were doing reprints before they revamped the series, the reprint of when Professor X was killed. Okay, next 4 books that I really was psyched to get. And I read them and I really enjoyed them. I hope you're not getting too much glare. Kingdom Come numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is DC's answer to Marvel's. And to be quite frank, I liked the story in Kingdom Come better than the Marvel's books. Yeah, basically, in short, Alex Ross, who worked, I believe it was a year or two earlier with Marvel, did a miniseries called Marvels that outlined important events in the Marvel Universe. The Human Torch, the original Human Torch, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and so forth. Well, 2 years later, or a year later, whatever it was, he did Kingdom Come, and it took place many years after, many years in the future, when the DC heroes, I guess, are sort of like retired, and this new set of heroes came in that did not respect the same rules that the old heroes did. Like, Superman and Batman, they would never kill. Well, these heroes had no problem killing, and I think they killed the Joker fairly quickly, and these other heroes were really not the best, sort of people. So it pretty much just tells the story, related to the new heroes and the old heroes. So I thought this was a really well told story and excellently drawn. Alex Ross is one of my favorite artists. Okay, Outcast #1. I know this is a book that's been gaining some popularity, and I said to myself, with Kirkman and all that, so I said to myself, let me quickly get it, and I did, and I got it for a good price. So, I didn't read it because I didn't want to, open it up too much and mess with it, but, I hear it's a pretty good series, so I'll just, I'll just accept that. But yeah, this was a hot book, and I recommend people getting it because because it is a hot book, and a lot of Kirkman stuff goes up in value pretty quickly. Obviously Walking Dead, Invincible, and now this. I know some stores were selling this book alone for like $10, and it only came out several months ago. So if you see it, grab it. First printing, by the way. Another book I was able to get, Evil Ernie #2. The significance of this book is it's the first cover appearance of Lady Death. Really cool book. Really cool cover, too. I hope you're not getting too much glare. But yeah, Evil Ernie 2, I Yeah, really like Lady Death. I mean, who doesn't? Okay. Walking Dead Governor's Special number 1. Walking Dead number 13. Walking Dead number 46. And Walking Dead number 48. Well, the Governor's Special, I know it's a little bit blocked out, but the Governor's Special gives a little bit of a backstory on the Governor and how he came to be who he is, or who he was. Walking Dead number 13, this is the first appearance of the prison, and started that prison arc in the series. This was now these two books, 46 and 48. This was at the end of the prison arc, and this is in this book 46. This is where Tyrese is killed by the Governor, and in 48, that's when all hell breaks loose in the prison, where Lori and Judith are killed. Herschel's killed, and finally the Governor's killed. So these are some pretty cool books to have if you're looking to start or complete your prison arc storyline in Walking Dead. There's still a couple more that I need, but yeah, I like the covers. Very vibrant. 46 and 48 with the red backgrounds. Really, really cool. So that's my Walking Dead haul for this month. Another book right here that I was very happy to get, Primer, Kimiko Primer, number 5. This is the first appearance of the Max. I remember I went to the comic book, the New York Comic Con, and I was really going crazy looking for Primer number 2. Those of you that saw my video, you know, I said that was like that book, Primer 2, was like number 1 on my list of books to get. And I remember I walked up to one vendor and I asked him, do you have Primer 2? And he said, no, all we have is Primer 5. And I was like, oh, well, okay, whatever. You know, I couldn't care less. And it wasn't until after the event that I found out that Primer 5 was the first appearance of the Max. And I heard it was a pretty hard book to find. It's not as common as Primer 2. You know, one of my recent a comic book store near me recently got in a couple copies of Primer 2, but I never see Primer 5 anywhere. I hardly see it on eBay too. So I was lucky enough to get this book. It's got some kinks in it, you know, around here. I don't know if you can really see it. You know, here comes the glare again, but I gave it a 7.5. It might be a 7, or may just be a 7.5. I don't know. Sometimes I think I grade right on the money, and sometimes I think I'm off. So I don't know. But it does have some kinks. But other than that, you know, it's really in really great shape. You know, no rips, no tears. It's not discolored, nothing like that. But just a couple kinks in the spine, and I'm perfectly happy with it. You know, I've said in previous videos, you know, yeah, I understand the need to get, like, well, while I'm talking, let me just keep this up here. I understand the need to, you know, collectors need to buy high-grade books. You know, yeah, I'm one of them too. I like to get high-grade books too. But sometimes it's not always possible, and, you know, you got to be okay with that. I think I mentioned in previous videos, you know, is it really worth getting a 9.0 this or a 9.8 that and spend all the money on a book? Well, it depends. If you can afford it, yes, great. But is it worth getting a 9.8 or a 9.9, I don't know, XMen 90 and spending whatever it is for it? I would imagine those high grades, doesn't matter what issue it is, it's pretty expensive. I would say no. I'd put that money toward a better book. If you want to spend good money, put it toward a really important key. And yeah, this could be a really important key, but I don't think it's as important as other books out there, or books that are really hot right now. Let's say like a New Mutants 98. Now that the movie Deadpool has been announced, that book is just going to continue to go up. So anybody looking to get a new book, a hot book, if you don't know this already, which I'm pretty sure you all do, New Mutants 98. If you could find it, get it. Okay, now let's get to some Batman stuff. Detective Comics 441. Now, this is supposedly the first appearance of Harvey Bullock, or Sergeant Bullock. Um, you know, I saw it. It's not in the best of shape. It's a subscription issue, so it's got that line in the middle. And as you can see, it's got a lot of problems with it. I don't even know what I gave this. I gave it a 5.0. It might even be a 4.5. Maybe a 5.0. But you know something? Once again, what I was saying just a few moments ago, it's not really an issue that I was going to go crazy looking for, and it's certainly not an issue I'm willing to spend big bucks for. I spent maybe like 12 bucks on this. I found it. I got it. It's the first appearance of Sergeant Bullock. I was happy with that. I could not care less. So, to me, it's not worth spending big bucks on this. There are other Batman characters, supporting cast, or whatever, that it is worth spending the extra money on getting a higher grade book. To me, this one, not really. If you can find a high grade book at a cheap price, go for it. But I just don't think it's worth it. But that's just my philosophy. But then again, what do I know? Just a couple standard Detective Comics, 660, 661, Nightfall. I needed to collect a couple more Nightfall series books, and I managed to pick these up for $1 each. So can't go wrong with that. And as you know, I go out of order. I jump around, so bear with me. Okay, now we're into Batman. No longer Detective Comics. I got this, Batman 440, 441, and 442. I think in one of my other videos I talked about, some of you were kind enough to leave a comment. I forget what issue it was of Batman, but I had 2 issues with Robin where Tim Drake assumed the mantle of Robin. And one of the issues had a new Robin issue, and someone pointed out that issue is actually a second printing. That was the difference between the two. Now this one right here, I believe this is the first appearance of Tim Drake in the Robin costume. I mean, if he appeared in the Robin costume, doesn't that mean he's Robin? I mean, that's what I would think, but apparently not. It was that other issue where he actually officially became Robin. So I was able to pick these 3 up. That's that story arc, A Lonely Place of Dying. A few of them. I think I'm still missing 2. I think I'm missing part 2 and part 4. So I'll see if I can get those. Okay. We've got a couple more Nightfall books on the way, this time in the Batman title. $4.98, $4.99. Nightfall number 15 and 17. Batman The Hunt. Hunt the Dark Knight, really cool. Once again by Frank Miller. I still need to get a couple more of the Frank Miller Batman story arcs. I'm missing a few of them, but I was lucky enough to get this one, which I'm happy with. I love the cover. Bat Signal, can't go wrong. Actually, now I'm jumping into the Brave and the Bold. There we are. Brave and the Bold 200. It's the first appearance of Katana. This book has been sitting at one of my local comic book stores on the wall for a long period of time. At first, the guy was selling it for like $45 or whatever. And I said to myself, it's a high-grade book too, so, it's a really, really nice shape. But I said to myself once again, I'm not spending $45 on the first appearance of Katana. I don't care that much about the character. Well, then, after a while, I noticed the book disappeared from the wall, and I was like, well, I guess someone bought it. And then I think a few months later, I'm just going through the Batman issues, and I see this in the long box. He lowered the price, as I found out. He lowered the price more than half because it just wasn't selling for what he was asking for, which I think was a little outrageous. But that's when I was able to pick it up. So I don't know what the significance is of Katana. Is she going to be on the new Is she going to be on Gotham or something like that? I don't know, because that was one of the highlights. He said Katana appearing on TV show or something like that. I don't know. So if anybody knows what the significance of Katana is, leave a comment. Once again, I'm always willing to learn more from you guys. Okay, a couple more books that I was able to pick up. Batman 253, with the Shadow, and Batman 286. I picked up 286 because A, it was cheap, and it was a Joker cover. I forget whose video I was watching, but advice on that video was, all Joker covers are pretty hot, so if you can get them, pick them up. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. As for this one, I thought this was a pretty cool pickup. I got it for a decent price. The Shadow appears, and I believe Batman is based off the Shadow, who was, from that noir type storytelling in the 30s. So it's cool to see these two face off, one based off the other. Okay, so got some really, really cool ones coming up that I was very lucky to pick up. I think you know where I'm going with this. Yep, and of course, this one. Yeah, my Batman collection, as you may have saw over the last couple months, has really been growing. And this was one of the story arcs that I was missing. Death in the Family. That's like one of the big story arcs in the Batman universe. And I was able to take care of it, find these books at a really good price, cheap, in one fell swoop, and they're all high grade. Of course, I think this is the most famous cover of the four. It's very grotesque, and it's a depiction of Robin, like I believe he's just like dying in that photo or laying on the ground or whatever. But I still like this one the best. I think it's a really cool cover. I'm not that big of a fan of Mike Mignola. The guy, he's the guy who created Hellboy and all that stuff. He drew a lot of covers for, I think, both DC and Marvel. DC being some of these Batman covers, which is a good gig, by the way. And Marvel, I think he drew some classic X-Men covers. I'm not a big fan of how he drew Batman and Robin. But But I do like the way he drew Robin here, and I'm a big fan of the way he drew the Joker on that cover. But other than that, his artwork never really impressed me. I'm not really impressed with any of his Hellboy stuff, either. I'm not a big Hellboy fan. But aside from my picking on Mike Mignola, these were really good stories. I thought they were really good, and any Batman collector should try to put these in his or her collection. Okay, just another one. Batman 430. Comes right after that story arc, Fatal Wish. Just another book I happened to pick up for $1. Batman Mad Love. I believe this right here. I was lucky to find this book. This is actually, I believe, the origin of Harley Quinn. If I'm wrong, please somebody correct me. But this is the first printing. I know there were two printings of it. Different, very different covers on both. But this is the first. I think this is the first origin of Harley Quinn on how she became Harley Quinn. I looked through it. I read it. I thought it was a really cool story. Done by Paul Dini. I believe he was the one that worked on Batman the Animated Series for all those years, and obviously a very talented Batman writer. So, really good story. Cool book. And also definitely a hot book, with Harley Quinn and all that. Suicide Squad movie coming out, whenever the hell that's coming out. Anything with Harley Quinn is really hot, especially her early appearances, like, Batman, Harley Quinn, and of course her first appearance, Batman Adventures 12. But anything especially like this with her origin, yeah, if you could see it, grab it. get it for a good price if you can. Okay, now we're getting to the last 3 books. I try to save, like I said before, some of the best for last. Okay. I was lucky to get this one, Werewolf by Night 32 and Werewolf by Night 33. Both of them are in pretty good shape. You can see there are some color breaks on this one. I eventually want to get a better copy of this one, and eventually this one. But pretty soon I would like to get a better copy of Werewolf 32. But it really is in bad shape. It does have a couple color breaks along the spine, but other than that, it doesn't have any other issues. No tears, I don't think. Take a look. There's a slight kink right over here. But other than those things, as you can see, the cover is very vibrant, very bright. No problems with the centerfold, no tape, no stains, no writing. I hate books that have writing on it. I can't stress it enough. I know CGC does not grade against, those stamps, those date stamps that they put on books. I'm sorry, but if there's a date stamp on a book, I just can't get it. It's just, even though the rest of the book's in nice shape or high grade, for me, whenever I see writing or some type of date stamp on a cover, my field of vision goes immediately toward that date stamp or that writing, and it just ruins the entire presentation of the book for me. But yeah, they're the colors are vibrant on both, but both of them do have some color breaks on the spine. But I would like to get another book. But for the price I got this, I couldn't pass it up. And I was very happy to get the first appearance of Moon Knight. It's one of those Marvel books from the 70s that introduced a new character that later went on to have his or her own series and showed up every now and then guest starring in other books like Moon Knight, Luke Cage, Blade, Ghost Rider, Iron Fist, and all that stuff. So I was glad to add this to my collection. With that being said, the last book of my comic book haul. Let's see if this can stand up. It's probably going to slide down. I'll try to put it up where you don't get that much glare. But you're getting a lot of glare over here. There we go. Marvel Premiere number 15. For those of you that don't know, this is the first appearance of Iron Fist. Coming off what I was saying about Moon Knight, one of those characters that was introduced in the Marvel Universe in the 70s, that later went on to have his or own series or guest starred in a lot of other books, mainstream books throughout the years. Iron Fist was one of them. And I think he has a TV series or a Netflix series coming out. I know Daredevil has one. I think Luke Cage is supposed to have one coming out. So a lot of those characters like, Moon Knight, Iron Fist, Blade, you should really keep an eye on if you're looking to, trying to figure out what books to get, what Marvel books you think you should pick up next. I'm sure you have some in mind. But other ones that you may not think of are books like this. The first appearance of Iron Fist or Ghost Rider or characters like that. Well, that's the end of my comic book haul. I thank you all once again for watching and sticking with me over these last few months. I know I haven't been putting up videos. I'm probably not going to come out with a comic book haul for a few more months. I want to try to build. I have some books in mind that I would like to get over the next couple of months, but it's just a question of saving up to get those books. Because some of the books I want to get are, really, really, really cool. And it goes in line of what some of the things I've just been saying, like some of those Marvel books from the 70s that I really want to pick up. So there may not be another comic book haul for a couple of months. But in the meantime, I might release a couple of videos in between. I have some ideas. I'm coming up with a video, my top 25 key books that I really like. I'll probably do a little short video on that just to put something out, and I might go over a short video with my CGC collection. So maybe put a couple of things out. But thank you all again for watching. I look forward to looking at some of your videos. If you have any comments about anything, or just please leave them. I'm always eager to read your comments. I enjoy communicating with the community, and I hope, to once again see some more of your videos. Keep them coming. Thanks, everyone. Good night.